You know, one of the things that you and I encounter all the time is smaller and middle market companies that tell us that they don't think they need the kind of services that we offer. They don't think they need the kind of cybersecurity defenses you might see in larger companies because they're too small and they don't view them as a target. How realistic is that?
Well, that's entirely unrealistic. First of all, even a small company can have a tremendous amount of valuable information. And I think you and I both know that small companies don't just work in a vacuum. They work with large companies. They themselves can become a conduit for an intrusion, for a breach at a larger company, one of their vendors, one of their customers, which could entirely ruin the country.
So you probably agree, as I do, with the proposition that there are two kinds of companies, those that have been hacked and those that have been hacked but don't know they've been hacked yet.
There's only two types here, that's correct.
Okay. Tell me about some of the measures that middle market and smaller companies can take that can be within their budgets, that can afford them the kind of protection that virtually all companies need now on the cybersecurity front.
Well, you cannot, despite everything we've talked about it, the human factor being so important, you cannot overlook the technological aspect of it. But a lot of these are very, very simple. Having adequate virus protection and keeping it up to date, updating systems, making sure that you're not working with a virus protection that has lapsed and that you maintain your operating system. And then secondly, one of the cheaper things to do is to train your employees, is to make this part of the regular training and part of the culture. And I would say that one of the most important things and most cost-effective things is to bring that to the very highest level. In fact, in a small company, because so much is done at the executive level, because the president or the chairman or the owner of the company is very often involved in some of the most intricate parts of the company, that's a very important person to train.
Do you also find in larger organizations that there's often a disconnect between the people in the C-suite and the board of directors and the people who are responsible for the cybersecurity effort?
I think it's a little bit more than a disconnect. I think there's sometimes no communication at all. You know, one of the problems at the C-suite is that these people who take a very big picture very often have no background in security or in privacy, and that's not what they're hired for. They're hired for long-range planning. They're hired because they have the ability to help direct the company into certain areas. They're not down on the same granular level that the IT and security people are. And one thing that you've talked about, and maybe you want to spend a minute, is the fact that there is a lack of comprehension because of the acceleration and the jargon that so many of the IT people use.
Well, one of the things that I find when I'm counseling boards of directors, C-level officers in companies, is that there is a disconnect. Sometimes the disconnect is, it seems almost intentional, because with cybersecurity, what you have is incredibly rapid change. You have extremely technical jargon, and you also have an almost unnatural reliance on the competence of the technology people in your organization to take care of cybersecurity. One of the issues that you and I see over and over and over again is that IT people are not cybersecurity people. Very often, the IT staff of a company will be overburdened, not just with the day-to-day information technology work they need to do, but also the cybersecurity work that they have some knowledge about but are simply not trained to deal with. The cybersecurity mindset is a very different mindset than the information technology mindset. An information technology mindset is to keep the enterprise up and running. It's all about business continuity. It's not to say that the IT people don't play a crucial role in the cybersecurity effort. Somebody who's focusing on cybersecurity is focusing on policies, focusing on the kind of cybersecurity infrastructure that's necessary, the interaction between the cybersecurity infrastructure and business continuity, communicating to major stakeholders in the company what kinds of threats they're encountering, what they need to prepare for, how nimble do they have to be for the next generation of cyber threats. Those are the kinds of challenges I'm running into more and more.
We hope you found this video informative. Please watch our other videos at Jeffrey Mangels YouTube or jmbm.com.